Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Crystal, where we are playing Ecruteak City. This is turn 11. Let's jump into things. Alright, so this is actually a really big lucky turn for us. And I'm gonna jump right to the biggest reason why, but there are a couple of reasons. And it's this last one here. Suddenly, Jareth, the Ecruteak City's veteran trainer, appeared at the gates of your fortress and wanted to fight for your cause. So this is a big deal because, obviously, like, one of the ways that I'm trying to get the most out of Ecruteak City is with high luck skills. High luck skills are hopefully going to allow us to get gold deposits in the mid and late game to fund certain ventures. But also, at most of the Pokemon nations, especially Ecruteak City, have some amazing multi-hero, the veteran trainer being one of them. So let's actually take a look at this. So this is a Water 2, Astral 2, Death 4 mage. That is a Dominion monster summoner. So this mage is awesome. It's fantastic. And it's really, really cool to get one at a decent time. This is not the earliest that I've gotten one, but it's early enough. Because our national site, Ecruteak City Gym, right? This. So a Death Mage, a level 4 plus Death Mage, can enter into summon basically 8 Ghastlies a turn, which is pretty decent. Now, obviously, like, this is a very powerful mage. Eventually, I would want to do other stuff, right? Eventually, we'll probably just take, like, a Death 3 and put a Skull Staff in their hands and have them do the site. But for now, an additional 8 Ghastlies per turn is pretty nice. And the ability to swap over to another 21 Research per turn is also very nice if we need. But that is on its own, right? We could have had a shit turn aside from that. But getting this makes it a good turn. Hands down. Okay, so what else did we do? We built a historical kindergarten. That's good. Fantastic. Then we had a series of battles. Let's go ahead and check them. A battle in Silver Swamps. This is our expansion in the southwest, us trying to finalize that kind of like border between us and Viridian City. We are up against a series of Charmanders and Crocodiles. It's a weird combination. And we have this Fire Breather who actually has some gems on it. So the Charmanders are somewhat dangerous to us because they do have a magical attack, right, with their Ember. But fortunately, it's not like a guaranteed death. So, let's see how it goes. Like, we would never really want to fight Charmanders in high numbers. But these numbers are relatively low, and since we can confuse them or sleep them, we can do a decent job of killing them. That crocodile lasted for a long time. Holy crap. Very nice. Okay, cool. That was a decently sized battle up against a bunch of Charmanders. It looks actually like we only lost one to them. Most of it's friendly fire. And that's something that just happens, right? Is the Ghastlies, they have magic attacks, right? So they can hit themselves. And they do not, like many of the other Pokemon, many of the other Pokemon have a built-in air shield. Ghastlies do not. That's just something to keep in mind. Then we have a battle in Kevin. Right, we are raiding Cyanwood City because Cyanwood City decided to fucking bring shit and try to take one of my provinces, so fuck them. And we are up against a small PD, right? We've got some Sand Slashes and a Hitmonchan here, which is interesting. Now, the Sand Slashes, in theory, these guys could be pretty dangerous. So we've got this range 30 magic damage hit, but it's super low precision. Super low precision. -3 precision, right? See how it goes. Speed up just a little bit. Okay. Alright, so we kind of get into a firefight with these sand slashes. Lose a ghastly, it looks like. And then these units are just either asleep or confused, unable to really participate. And it's this very kind of like awkward, we shoot, they shoot, we shoot, they shoot, we shoot, they shoot. But then we run out of ammunition and we just rush forward, and for whatever reason, the Crush Girl just morale broke. I don't know that we would have won that in the face-to-face battle with the Sand Slashes, honestly. I'm not sure. But if we check the report, I only lost one Ghastly that entire time. And they didn't lose anything. What they lost was they lost the Hitmonchan and the 3 defensive Tai Rogues. And that routed them. I think that was kind of a wet noodle fight, honestly. I think we would have won probably against the Sand Slashes. But I think we would have taken a fair number of losses in melee against them. So, we had that. And then we have an unexpected event in Histria. Children are disappearing at night. Strange creatures sculpt the darkness. So we got another... we had an unrest event, I think, last turn in Histria. We get another one. That's unfortunate. Histria, I think, is got some problems. And then we have another event in Histria. An ancient treasure has been unearthed. So this is great. This is fantastic. A little spot of gold, 242 gold, is wonderful for us. So this is just a great turn. That's fantastic. So what are we doing to kind of piggyback off of this great turn? Well, we're doing a couple different things. In the southwest, we can see a little bit more of what's going on down here. I still think that one of these two is Viridian City. It's possible that maybe it's 93 instead, though. We do see there's a small force here of Nidoran boys, Paris, and Yanmas. That's actually really dangerous for us. I'm going to move into Falm, hoping that he's like, oh, well, there's a force here, and let's not be aggressive. Let's, you know, that might not be the scenario. It might actually be more prudent to move into Gifa, but I kind of want to secure this as our border. So I'm gonna try. It's a dicey move. It could get us popped, right? But I'm becoming less and less worried about losing these exploratory, because we're kind of ramping up our infrastructure. Not super worried about it. But Kimono Girl 2 is going to head into Falm and face off against the Rattatas, Farfetch'd, and Pidgeys. I'm hoping that this is mostly Rattatas. Again, right, if it's 30 units or 40 units, right? Then if it's 10 to 15 to 20 Rattatas, and it's only like 10 or so Pidgeys and, you know, a handful of Farfetch'd, then I think we're okay. We're obviously going to take some losses, but I think we've got enough numbers for it to not matter. But that might not be the case, so we'll have to see. So we're going to move into Falm. We are continuing on our circuit to try to, like, pick units up. We are going to be moving Kimono Girl 5 with a small force. Actually, I need to double check this. Not set up for... It's not set up for ranged versus not ranged. Okay. Hold and attack closest. Hold and fire closest. Divine troops. So Kimono Girl 5 is going to be attacking into Larian Swamps. I'm actually hoping we just take this for free. It says it's free of enemy military units, so I'm hoping that is going to be the case. Because I'm just trying to raid Cyanwood City. I'm just trying to put pressure on. So we took Kevin this turn. We're going to put 1 PD in it just so that he can't... Just so that he has to fight something. Just right. What this actually gets us is a Sand Slash and a Kimono Commander, right? So we immediately get a Haunter and 1d3 Ghastlies. That's pretty nice. So that's... I'm not going to complain about that as like a Province Defense situation. But we're going to move Kimono Girl 6 up into Mountains of Madness. What I'm looking for is I'm looking for infrastructure, right? I think probably he is making something on CERN because it looks like it's a good, important farmland province for him. But we're going to go up to Swamp of Solitude or over here to Defaros and see if that is a location where he is building something, right? So we're probably going to do this cyclical, hit, stealth, hit, stealth, hit, stealth, hit, stealth, that type of stuff. And once we have multiple parties doing it, it's going to be difficult for Cyanwood City to deal with unless he gets lucky guessing our movements. So that's what we're going to do there. We are moving this Kimono woman over to Anvast. I haven't done my renaming for them. We're going to move them over to Anvast, and next turn the plan is to start another fortified village here in Anvast, right? So on turn 12, we will have 3 forts, and we'll be working on a 4th. So that's going pretty good for us so far. And to kind of like showcase what this is, right? This turn we got 19 respawn in Golamrod, and now we have 41. Now we didn't get this all in one turn, but we have 41 units on Kimono 4. Kimono 4 is going to be able to move to Golamrod and next turn almost have a full stack and be able to move out against Cyanwood City. And a stack of 80, I mean, it's not a crazy amount, right? And you see, we have 41 units here, but there's only 35 siege strength. The downside of the ghosts, you have very low siege strength, right? Upside of the ghost is they have they're ethereal, right? And they're floating, and they're all this other shit, right? I will take low siege strength as a downside, especially since as the game goes on, we're going to be able to potentially supplement our ghosts with non-ghost chaff. So just skeletons, corpse constructs are a great thing that comes to mind, and we're a nation that can very easily do corpse constructs. I can do them with J-Boy right now. So that's going to be great. So we're moving Kimono 4 out to Golamrod. She's going to have a pretty big stack when she gets there. We're going to start a new fortification, probably in Anvast, depending on what the situation. We are building a temple with Red Chan 1 in west, and we'll be done with the fortified village there on the next turn. We are entering the site with our first veteran trainer, our Ecruteak City gem, which is going to get us 8 Ghastlies per turn. It's fantastic. We are researching with Casper, our Titan of Fog now. Our research jumped up to 75 this turn, which is not bad for what we're doing right now. So we're going to be able to complete Construction 2 next turn. We're going to be able to complete Thaumaturgy 1 next turn, and we'll be able to make it a chunk into about halfway through Thaumaturgy 2. Or halfway through Thaumaturgy 1 on the way to Thaumaturgy 2, right? And that's good. So we're very, very excited about that, very happy about that. We're continuing production of Junior Trainer Boys. And we are looking for an opportunity now, right, to, after we start this fortification, it's going to be important for us to start putting in labs. Labs are very expensive. They're 500 gold a pop. But we have a decent little income that we are dealing with, so we're going to hopefully be able to gain control of that, right? Obviously, 4 forts and 4 temples is kind of the main goal there. Then getting labs up, then getting higher fortifications and more fortifications, etc. So, but we're doing okay. Like I'm definitely not displeased by the situation at hand. What else? Movement-wise, there's not really a whole lot else going on to really talk about. We've got schoolgirl on her way to capital. Right, we're just gonna spit these schoolgirls out every other turn and then bring them to Ecruteak City and have them just research there. That's fine. Eventually, well, no, we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about some other stuff. So we've come to find out, right? Vermilion City's up here, having trouble, struggling, right? We can see Mahogany here, right? Haven't found their capital yet, but I'm assuming it's somewhere in this direction. But we see Olivine City way up here, right? And way down here. So I'm not 100% sure about what's going on here, but I think maybe Olivine City is here or here or something like that, right? And is taking advantage of the fact that Olivine City has sailing commanders. So if we take a look over here, for example, the Olivine City sailors are literally like very good leaders and have 999 size sailing, which this is OP as shit, right? Like super powerful. And yeah, so if we take a look at the composition of this army, it looks like they're making Rimmeraids, Magneton Jays, and Scissors. So if we take a look at what that means, we've got Scissors, or sorry, we've got and Scissors. I wonder if they have a summon for this, or if they've just like they got some Scissors early on, and they have or they got some Scythers early on and they have promoted them, because it only takes 30 experience to promote. Scissors are very good unit. They're very high protection. They lose the glamour of the Scyther, right? But they hit really hard. They've got really good combat stats. They've got very high protection. They're really good units. And then what else was it? It was Rimmeraids. Got Rimmeraids here. Looks like they're maybe just for some ranged fare. I wonder. I don't actually know if their promotion is any good. So the previous game that I fought against with Olivine, the player was just using like a Hellbless on Steelix champions, because Steelix champions were crazy powerful in that one, and I don't think they even had access to all of these. Right? I think they had access to all of them. But I think there's probably been across the board to like their Steelix recruitment, and then they've basically like the mod creator has buffed units, I think, basically. So we've got Magneton J or Magnemite J, right? Were these? Yeah, so we've got Magneton J. So this looks like it might be. The only thing that I gotta say about that is it looks like, okay, so it's got Magneton Jays and Scissors, and then it's got Rimmeraids. So it sounds like this is a composition that got put together a couple turns ago, early turns, and that the composition has leveled, right? Because Magnemite Jays level at promotion or promote at 30 as well. But that's very. So the Magnemite Jays are sacred, Scythers are not sacred, and Rimmeraids are not sacred. But it's curious to me that maybe, I don't know, maybe the Rimmeraids just aren't being as successful or something. I'm not sure. That's strange to me. That the Rimmeraids have not evolved, but the Magneton Jays and Scissors have. Interesting. Anyways, so what this is disconcerting, right? Because Olivine City is very far up here, and then very far down here. That's a pretty expansive piece of territory. The only thing is I think is it's probably very narrow, but we'll see. And then we have we've got Azalea City here with this army of pincers and growls. This is potentially dangerous. I don't like this on my border. I think they have fallen back. They might be heading for Tricia, but there's the possibility that Cyanwood has called Azalea City in, and that Azalea City has every intention of coming at me. This might turn into one of those like Urmor Celeria type games where players are like, nah, let's get rid of the death person, death free spawn, toxic. Nah, let's get rid of that really quick. And if that happens, I mean that's part of the style that I'm kind of playing right now, is why I'm so gung ho about getting up these fortifications and boosting my free spawn and etc. etc. So if that is the route that they end up taking, we'll see how it goes. Like I wanted to play this nation because I think they're underpowered, but I think there are ways to play them, and I want to be able to give good feedback to the mod creator about how they work, right? If they're, you know, hard to play but rewarding to play, if they're hard to play and, you know, in the right hands they can kick ass, or if they're, you know, hard to play and kind of shit, because that might be an option as well. I know, like, there are definite things, like, I don't think they need madness. Like, I don't think they need insanity. I think everything else that they already have going on, right? If you want to do insanity, then we should get rid of some other, because insanity, to deal with insanity in a situation like this is just incredibly frustrating. Like, Blue Chan won. Delay is rising. Okay. All right. But anyways, I think that is mostly it for the turn. We're saving a little bit of money because we want to start a fortification here in Anvast next turn. Almost immediately after that, we're probably going to try to temple that the following turn. And then it's a matter of continuing to pop out mages whenever we can, and continuing to, at that point, it'll be labbing. We'll want to lab at least one other place. Like, we'll want to lab Golamrod, right? Because we want to start having a location where we can pop out multiple Ecruteak junior trainers. Or if we want a location where we can just spam out white channelers. Because with white channelers, then we can just create the occasional great channeler, and we're pretty much good to go. All right, that is going to be it for the turn. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.